Ready to take your taste buds on a journey? Our unique spice blends are packed with bold, authentic flavors from around the world. From smoky to spicy, sweet to savory, we've got the perfect mix to transform every meal into a masterpiece. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for flavor inspiration. Hello, today I'll be making French onion fajitas from Mexico and France. The key here in this dish is two things. One is we're going to learn how to caramelize onions, and second, how to use the French provincial spice blend from Spice Road Designers. When I cut the onion, I'm going to be using white onion first because we're going to caramelize some onion, and then I'm going to use the red or purple onion for the finish vegetable, mostly for color, but I also like the flavor of the purple onion. Now, you'll notice that I've left the root on even after I've peeled this for two reasons. One is that most of the sulfuric acid is in the root end of the onion, and that's what makes you cry. So I can cut most of this without crying too much, and hopefully that'll work. And also it helps hold the modified stem together, because that's what an onion is a modified stem. This is the root, this is the modified stem. It still grows underground. And I'm going to slice that off and then take the root off, and I'll have my nice slices. So I'm going to slice that now and then take off the root. And this is now ready for the skillet. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got this skillet relatively hot now. In fact, you'll see it's just starting to smoke. That's not necessary, but I do like a nice fast char on this. I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil. Now, I'm not frying the onion, I'm simply searing it, and so this prevents it from sticking to the pan, even though this is non-stick, but it also gives a little bit of better heat transfer so that we can go ahead and caramelize those onions. We don't want to move them around like you would in a normal saute completely. We want to allow those to sit on the pan and char. I want to keep these on the skillet as much as I can. The more surface area, the more caramelization, of course. See how these are starting to sweat? That means the outside cells are beginning to burst, and the liquid that's inside those cells is coming out. It has some sugar in those cells as well, and that helps carbonize it as well. You can start to see some of those are starting to get some nice char on them. When they start well, I'll add some sugar, about a half a teaspoon. This is done at a relatively high temperature. It works very well in the Dutch oven because the Dutch oven retains the heat so well. See how we're starting to get some good caramelization on some of those onions? We'll get a few more and add some sugar. If we add the sugar too soon, it simply burns and sticks to the pan. Okay, I'm starting to get some nice color. Time to add some sugar. I'll be adding about a half a teaspoon. You see that smoke coming from the sugar. And you'll notice that they caramelize very quickly soon. Now I could sweat these down farther, but remember I am making a fajita, so I want some integral vegetable. Look at how much faster those are starting to caramelize. Also, it makes the dish just a little bit more sweet. It gives it another dimension of flavor. Onions do have a fair amount of sugar in them. That's why we call many of them sweet onions. That's looking good. Now you don't have to, but I prefer to. I'm going to add just a little white wine, give it an extra flavor, and makes them a little more saucy as well. That liquid deglazes the pan. It takes all of the flavor that's stuck to the pan and releases that back up into your dish. And you see how beautiful those are. I'm slicing my chicken relatively thin. That's typical fajita. I've seen people cube it, but that's not traditional, and it cooks differently. And I'm also going to take a half an onion and slice that, prepare that for the skillet. And off goes the stem. Okay, I'm ready to start. I'm going to start sauteing the onion first. Again, I'm going to add just a little oil, but again, we're not frying, we're sauteing. This is just to season the pan and keep things from sticking. Now, I'm not trying to caramelize these onions. They're cooked, but they're not caramelized. I want this beautiful color, and I want the extra flavor that comes from having onions two ways. This is the reason I call this French onion, is two reasons. One is because just like French onion soup, we've got caramelized onions. And second of all, I'm going to be using the French Provincial blend. Now that these are hot and the skillet temperature has recovered, I'm going to add the chicken. Now I'm going to add the French Provincial blend. I'm adding about 1.5 teaspoons. Now, you could use more of this than you might think because we use a very low salt recipe, and that gives you the opportunity to add more flavor, but also use the salt yourself. We don't want to sell you expensive salt. Now that the chicken is cooked, I'm going to add back in the caramelized onion. What a nice color. I've seen some fajita with a lot of bell pepper and even radish in it. This is a much more clean and straightforward flavor. Okay, that's well mixed. Let's go plate. Okay, I have added a little cheese and sour cream and tomato. And there you have it, a French onion fajita. Thank you for joining us. Good day.